What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're gonna try and help out a little bit and kind of take some of the fear that I see so many times in the emails and the comments about coyote swapping. So let's talk about it. All right, guys, so let's think about this for a minute. I know you see the finished products and you're like, man, there's no way. There's got to be all kinds of insane wiring and just complicated stuff, and you're kind of wanting to shy away, which is totally normal. Totally get it. I'm the same way, but I want to kind of break it down and make it look a little more, kind of make it more nuts and bolts and not so much just like looking at the whole package and getting intimidated by it. Let's go into it real quick. So Dover's going to walk us through. This is really all that gets hooked in for the most part to the actual car itself. You can see, what do we got? 4 or 5 wires?
Yeah, this is going to plug in here.
So that plugs directly into your control pack.
Then you got, key on.
So key on hot, and then
constant hot. Let's see. This one's hot all the time.
And they're labeled
hot all the time. This one's your starter request. So you want that on the crank, on your ignition switch,
put that
just
on
like
the
you
ignition
would
switch.
your starter.
Correct. Yep.
And then this one's key on. Then you got a wire that goes to your fuel pump, which you'll probably need to put a relay or something.
Right.
And you got a ground. And everything else pretty much plugs up.
And again,
you'll have a ground here, Then you got your cooling fan, trigger wire, starter, small wire on your starter. Then this is going to plug to your computer. This will plug into the engine harness, mass airflow.
And then, yeah. So actually there's one down there you don't use.
This is your intercooler pump.
Yeah, the intercooler pump.
If you got an intercooler, you'll use it. There's your mass airflow, and then this one's for the alternator.
Right, and then you've got your O2 sensors. And
so a lot of times what I'll do right here, because your alternator on the power by the hour, see, this ain't going all the way to the other side of the car most of the time. So I'll, you can peel it back and shorten the alternator harness. So here's your mass airflow. It's up here.
Right.
Normally your alternator would be down here on the stock configuration, but with power by the hour, you go alternator. So I'll peel it back just to,
modify it a little bit.
Yeah, modify it a little bit. I mean, you don't really have to do much.
But ultimately, it's like you plug it in. That plugs into the alternator. That plugs into the mass air.
Yeah.
So this is the hard part.
This is the Gen 2. So you got this connector to your PCM, and then your engine harness plugs into the PCM, and then this plugs into the engine harness.
Right.
And it's very, very little wiring. I mean, it ain't crazy.
So that's your entire control pack. Now, don't get that confused with your engine harness, which is probably already on your engine. But they're also, what are they, like $200 if you need one? They're not expensive.
And they usually have them at the dealer.
Right. So, I mean, really all you're doing is plugging into the engine harness the control pack. So it's not like you're having to do any crazy wiring.
That's going to plug up.
Yeah, there it is right there.
And there's your connector for your PCM. And like I said, this plugs into that other connector right there by the PCM connector on the control pack.
So really and truly, like if you buy a crate motor like this one's from Power by the Hour, it's all there. So all of your VCTs, your coils, your ejectors, all of that's already plugged in. You get cam and crank sensors on the back. That's all already plugged in. All you do, plug that into your control pack, and I mean it's.
You got to figure out how you want to route it.
Right.
That's up to you.
Right, and you can do it a million ways.
As long as it reaches.
Yeah. Which most of them we've done down there.
Yeah, keep the computer up here.
But I mean, Alex
done them with the computer up here.
So that's the main thing is don't get all like you got to do a bunch of crazy stuff. You don't touch the engine harness. You don't even really touch the control pack, other than tying what we just showed you here into the car. So
and you got to add, a battery hot. Because here's your fuse box for the control pack.
Yeah, so you've got.
So you'll have a battery cable going to this to power everything. Then you'll run a battery cable to your starter and your alternator. That's about it, really. And
then like this is, you can mount that under the dash. That's your OBD2, and this is Gen 2 specific. Well, maybe Gen 3's like that, but Gen 1 doesn't have that.
Clutch switch.
If you run manual.
If you're running the manual. If not, you tie those together if you're running automatic. which the computer has, if you're running a 6R80,
Right. You have a different.
it's internally neutral safety switch, so it'll take care of that.
So if you're running a 6R80, your control pack will look a little different than this, but I mean, again, it's still plug up and roll. So, trying to make it look as simple as possible, and it's not like it's crazy. Now there are things that are very difficult and time consuming and somewhat confusing to wire up, but again, engine harness is all self-contained, plugs into the control pack, which just interfaces into the car and the wiring that we showed you earlier, so it's not bad. It's really not bad. And if you can wire up some electric fans or a two-step or something like that, then you're well qualified to do this. All right, so your wiring and your PCM, where do you run it? Good question. Again, you can mount it right here, which we've done a few times. You can mount it up here. But as far as like your wiring goes, all of your old engine harness and all of that stuff is gone, so you could run it through there, but the cleanest way we found is to go right through here. That way it doesn't actually go in and back out of the engine bay as far as your PCM goes. So you just...
Yeah, we filled that hole over there. So.
Yeah, so you just drill you a hole right here above this this sound deadener here, and just run it into the car right there.
And to me, it's just like over here. See, you already have a hole on this side, where all your cruise control stuff went through. So you open that up and it does the same thing.
It's just 100% easier.
Yeah.
And then you can run the rest of your control pack in where your old body harness came, and you're good to go. Now on my car and several of the other ones, we took the back side of the glove box out, which we never used, and we mounted the Dakota Digital box and the fuse box for the control pack in here. And I think it's kind of cool because you open it up and at night it's got little lights. It's like a server room. I call it the server room. But yeah, so that's as far as what we found is the easiest way to run your wires and to put everything up and out of the way. And it's also still accessible because all you do, again, just open that up. If you need to check a relay, check a fuse, it's all right there. If you have an issue with your Dakota Digital, it's all right there. Not hard to get to. So one quick thing to remember, guys, every swap is going to be slightly different, but the same basic rules apply. Now if you go ahead and a supercharger and all that, like this car, yep, you're gonna have to change some stuff. Just part of it. As far as how you want something to look or be a certain cleanliness or accessibility, there again, like your fuel system and all that, just it's totally up to you how you want to do it. And but it's not complicated. And like you look at Lee's car here, so notice the PCM's up there, so slightly different, but there again, all the basics are still there. All the basics are still the same. So there you go, guys. I hope that helps. I hope that maybe inspires you to go and get after yours a little bit. The tech support and instructions for the control pack are very good. The instructions are very good. The Ford Racing tech support most of the time is good. Dakota Digital, their tech support is fantastic. The instructions are very detailed. So definitely get out there and give it a shot. And if you run into something, get back into your instructions or give that tech support a call. They're very good at what they do. Also, Power by the Hour on their website and their YouTube channel, they have a ton of tech support stuff that's very helpful. And we still go back and look at some of that stuff, because sometimes you forget. Sometimes you'll have something a little different, like the Gen 2 control pack doesn't have a TAC output, so you've got to get a TAC adapter. You know, just little stuff like that. But the main thing is, don't get discouraged and look at something for its simplicity. Don't back up and look at it from, you know, 20 feet away and think it's just too much, because it's really not. So if that helps, and I hope it did, big thumbs up. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. We will catch you on the next one.